Hey, welcome everyone here to Binbuster. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I want to say thank you for joining us tonight and Merry Christmas to all of you out there. For those of you that haven't seen, the Binbuster studio is decorated for Christmas, as you guys can see right around me, decorated for Christmas. I have some
Hey,
close friends here celebrate the holidays with me. They really need no introduction. It's Kal El Daily and 4K D-Ray. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hey, what's going on, Ben? Pretty good. Thank you for having us here. I love that little Christmas background with the flickering lights. Ready to do this, man. It should be a fun little time talking TV episodes. We usually talk movies, so switching over to TV episodes is gonna be really good.
And that's
fine.
what I wanted to do tonight, was to talk about TV, because it seems like we all, as movie collectors or physical media collectors, try and collect TV because of all streaming stuff now. But it also seems like no one talks about it. So I thought, hey, how awesome would it be if we did a Christmas themed episode about TV shows, which means that all those of you watching tonight, every episode that we're mentioning is a Christmas episode of the TV show. I wanted to throw in specials, but I thought we're opening the gamut for a lot of different things. I just wanted to purely make it TV episodes for this one. Maybe I'll do another one so next year on TV specials, but it's just TV shows tonight, and we have a bunch of lists for you guys tonight. But before you do that, right down there, welcome. Join the community by liking, subbing, and sharing this video with everyone you know, guys. Let's see who's here tonight.
Do it now.
Jerry's here saying what's up. How are we doing tonight, Cal? I'm sorry, I didn't let you talk. How are we doing tonight?
Oh, yeah. I didn't get my intro. D-Ray was hogging up all the shine. Hold on, let me do it. Finally, Kal El Daily has come back to the Binbuster channel. Yeah. Okay. I feel better. I feel better now. I feel better. You know the great one got to do his thing. Y'all know. You know. Right, D? Right, D?
Robert's here tonight. How you doing, man? What's up, Hunter? Ben? Everyone is saying hi to each other.
Up, everybody?
Just making sure
Merry
I hit
Christmas
everyone.
to everybody in the chat and everybody watching on the replay.
Salute. Hey, Ben. Hey, Cal. Hey, D-Ray. Chandler's here tonight. Hey, how you doing tonight, man?
Chan.
That's a name I haven't seen in a while.
Man?
What's up, Chandler?
I'm glad you made it, Chandler.
We have Movie Hunter here tonight, and we also have hope everyone has a great holiday from Chandler. So, yeah, I hope everyone out there is ready for Christmas coming up Tuesday. Oh, sorry, Monday. Monday. I hope all you guys got your gifts arranged and in order. If not, good luck to you trying to find that Turbo Man last second.
Turbo Man. See, Ben, you were supposed to have the
Turbo Man
the queued up.
So, like I said, we're talking about.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Of Arnold doing that.
Nah, Sinbad when he was talking about consumer.
He's asking how we are. Yeah. Oh, it's just Zoomer? Yeah, I should have had that up. Chandler says he's good. He's asking us how we are. He's been busy the last couple months. So, there we go. Like I said, we're talking TV shows tonight. So tonight, I'm going to start this off because usually the host is the last one to go in streams like this. But I decided to change things up. And what I'm going to be talking about first is one that everyone should know, because honestly, looking at all of our lists that we have, it's one of the newer TV show or Christmas episodes out there. I'm just bringing up my notes right now.
Are we going 5-1 or
5? We're
okay.
Yes, 5-1. Yes, 5-1. My number 5 is the one with the holiday armadillo from Friends. That's right, Friends season 7. We have the one with the holiday armadillo. You know, where Russ is trying to get Ben into the holidays and intends to teach him about his Jewish heritage, but there's no character like a Santa Claus in the Jewish culture for that. So they decided to go with the holiday armadillo. And this was just hilarious, trying to get Ben into the Christmas spirit by doing that. It was one of those things that, to me, just screams, "Hey, here I am trying to make Christmas the best for everyone, but here it is. I fail miserably."
Yeah, that was a fun episode. I remember that episode coming on all the time on repeat. I mean, I'm sorry, reruns. So yeah, that was a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
My question to you, since you picked that show,
Yes.
were they on a break? That's the real question.
Yes, they were on the break.
Okay, you're a
The
break guy.
moment that both people, they're both on break, Al. So the moment that both members started seeing other people, they were technically over each other and on a break. So
Well, they were never
broken
really
up.
for each other though. But good
Yeah,
episode,
exactly.
Ben. That's a really cool episode. I remember that one. It
It
was
is,
always
and
funny to
it's-
me that Ben was so impactful for a couple episodes. Then it was almost like he didn't even have kids. Same with Emma.
Yeah, and it was, and the thing is about this one, it's funny because SNL did a skit like years earlier with like Jim Belushi, sorry, where they had John Lovitz playing Hanukkah Harry in a skit because there was no Jewish mascot to celebrate to celebrate for Hanukkah that way. So I'm like, hey, this kind of brings that kind of full circle there, because they even said the writers of this episode stated that they watched that SNL episode to get some ideas of what kind of character could be Santa's friend. They're like, we don't want to go Hanukkah Harry because he's dressed just like Santa, just in blue.
Mhm.
And they go, hey, let's just do an armadillo. So we see how popular an aardvark is on PBS, so let's just do an armadillo. So
The more you know.
What is your number 5?
What is my number 5? Just show the screen. I think now you remember Ben. I picked these a while ago. I'm sorry. It was The Office. Now this one right here. The reason I'm puzzled by it is because The Office is a new show to me, guys. So this episode is really cool. But they play a lot. So I watch them a lot. But I mixed this one up with the Secret Santa one. So, but they're both great. But I went with this one. I watched it actually to make sure I was picking the right one before I picked it. So I went with this one. This episode was really cool because you really get to see Michael is basically, if you ever watch the show, he's just like a big kid. He's like a grown, a man child. So, and it's just really cool to see him have the Christmas spirit, but at the same time, he's still so spoiled. And, he wants his way. And then when it's not going his way, he just overreacts, and him with this Santa Claus thing. And if you know the episode, you know what I'm talking about. And it's cool to see Dwight and Jim's react back and forth as always. But this is not so much my favorite show, but over time, it is probably one of the most easy TV shows there is to watch. Like as they go, they just end really fast and they just go. So they're always on reruns, and I still watch them. And this episode seems to come up a lot for Christmas time for me the last few years. So I truly enjoyed this episode.
That was The Office?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Office. Ben, I'm sorry. I should have had my list in front of me. Ben, that is The Office season 5, right?
Yes. Let me get that list up too, Cal. Give me 1 second.
I'm sorry, Mr. Unprepared.
That was Secret. It was Secret Santa, Office season 6.
Season 6. Okay, season 6. Secret Santa. Yeah. This was a really good episode. I think it kind of is a little bit better than the one where they're exchanging the gifts and nobody wants the gifts they get for Christmas. They keep swapping. So, but this one here, guys, I recommend.
All right. Yeah, D-Ray, have anything to say about The Office?
I guess another fun fact. I've never seen an episode of The Office.
Yeah.
Well, it's like what I say about Friends. What about Friends, D-Ray?
I put in chat.
Right
I've never seen Friends.
Yeah. He's never seen Friends. And I even put a fun fact up there. I prefer the British version of The Office better.
Boo.
I've heard that.
Well, there's a reason I like it better, because one, I used to live up in the Scranton area, and it's all everyone would ever talk about up there. Right. That's all they ever talked about was Dunder Mifflin, The Office. It's like, oh, we're finally mentioning something, and it's like, yeah, can we talk about something else, please? No, it's Office. I'm like, I'm done with this show. I've watched a few episodes, never really got into it.
Mhm.
And yeah. Jerry
Well,
says, damn, D-Ray don't watch TV shows for shit. LOL.
well, you guys, the thing about I'll tell you this for Friends and The Office. The Office was a show I didn't like when it came out, and as it kept, maybe I got conditioned, but as it kept playing, I eventually got into it, and it has such a unique, dry sense of humor, and it's not as they do a lot to make it feel like it's on the spot, like it's live TV, but it's really
Yes.
not, and it's very
Yes.
rehearsed. You got to respect how they pull this stuff off in The Office, and it's so funny. It really is. But if you like that type of sense of humor, and me, I'm not even big on that sense of humor, but it's just something about it. You get into it eventually when you watch it, and the same goes for Friends. I didn't like Friends when it came out, but Friends came out in a time where there was nothing on, in a time slot, a day that there was nothing on, and they every channel reran that show. So everybody seen Friends, and then it just became whether you loved it or middle of the road or didn't like it, you just know Friends, like because it was just always on. So I know probably every episode of that as well.
All right. D-Ray, your number 5. What
All
is
right.
it?
My number 5 is Full House season 6, episode 12, A Very Tender Christmas. This is a show, I just grew up with, probably seen every single episode. Love this show so much. This episode always stuck out because there was quite a few things going on in it. You had the relationship between DJ and Steve was, DJ was a little emotional in this one because she found out that her boyfriend Steve was going to be attending college out of state. He was going to be going to Daytona Beach University. So she was an emotional wreck in this one. You had Joey was kind of by himself. You had the kids were more worried about getting gifts than anything. So Uncle Jesse decided that he wanted to take the kids to a shelter to kind of, volunteer their time so they can get a truer meaning of Christmas than just trying to get presents. So at the end of the show, they did that, and the kids came back and they explained what they did and how they felt in those moments. So it was kind of a emotional yet fun episode. I really enjoyed. You had the two twins. Was kind of spending a little more time with Joey since he was by himself. The dad was more Vicky wasn't around, so he was a little, preoccupied from her not being there and wishing that she was there as well. So that was my number 5.
Is this D-Ray? Is this the one where Vicky shows up as Santa? Is that this Christmas episode?
No, that was
No. Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think she showed up. I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember it was either they just started debuting Vicky or she was gone and he was moping around. Yeah. Because I remember her coming into Santa Claus and pulling down the beard and it's Vicky there. So yeah. That's what I was asking.
Have mercy.
Cal, you're going to say
This
something?
man said he said Full House. Like I'm shocked that he that made your top 5. I mean, great theme song. Whatever happened to predictability? Yeah, I like
Milkman and the Paperboy, evening TV.
Woo. Yeah, that's a nice one. I remember that episode. I was just watching Full House.
You look everywhere.
There's a heart and a heart. We're so off key today. Yeah.
Well, it's our Christmas one, so why not? So we're going to number 4 now, folks. Number 4. And I'll start. This one brings me back to my childhood. Back into the 90s when cartoon shows for kids were actually good and not all the same type of bullshit that there's now. It's Hey Arnold's Christmas season 1. Season 1. This is Helga thinks Christmas is all about the cash and the presents. So she has to choose between a gift for herself or Arnold. She doesn't have enough money to buy this toy she really wants, or to give her boyfriend Arnold a Christmas gift to hopefully try and woo him. Like how she always does in every single episode, tries to woo him into
woo
into that. But also Arnold searches to find a gift for his secret Santa, Mr. Hune, one of the guys in his building, one of his family members in the building, because we all know Arnold's family was everyone in his building that night for that show. but it's a gift that cannot be bought. Mr. Hune has lost touch with his daughter and wants his daughter there with him for Christmas. So Arnold goes through this entire episode trying to get his daughter to come see him. And this just shows you, even in a kid's show, what the true meaning of Christmas is. It's not about the presents and not about the money. It's not about the movies. It's not about the PlayStations. It's about spending time with family and wanting all your family together during this holiday season, because you might lose touch with them. You might not talk with them daily, but they're there for you. Want to be there for them at least this one day of the year. And that's why it's my number 4. So,
excellent.
Cool.
I like it. It's refreshing to see some animation up in there. You know, animation almost made my number 5.
Yeah, I didn't even think about cartoons, to be honest.
I did, but it was too late. Like, I already had gave Ben The Office. I thought of the Boondocks, where he's like chasing after the Santa. That's what I wanted for 5. But you know, I'm good with this one. How I did it.
Hell, you're number 4.
All right, my number 4. My number 4 is, if I'm right, is The Fresh Prince, correct?
Correct.
The Fresh Prince. Now, this one in particular, there's a lot of great episodes for The Fresh Prince, but this one I find the most heartwarming, and it's about baby Nicky, and you know, he was a new character, new to the show, and they were trying to christen him. They were having a christening, and Will tells us this lie, right? Oh, you know how Will does it. He just overdoes it. And that he knows Boys to Men, who are from Philly, and Will's from Philly, so you put the connection there. And he was hanging out with them and blah blah blah, so he knows them, so he can get them to come sing. And he was just talking, and they actually heard that, and then the family, they're looking forward to this for Christmas, and he just ran his big mouth, and it just got out of control, that lie. So he tries to go and get them, because they're in town. So he tries to go and get them to do it. They throw him out of the studio. It's a funny, hilarious scene. And it's a Christmas episode. They show up at the right time when he's getting ready to tell everybody he lied. He learned his lesson, but it was just a very heartwarming episode. And then when I forget, I'm sorry, the member of Boys to Men, and he walks up to him and he says Merry Christmas, and they just showed up for the baby to do the christening, and it was really a good episode. So that's the one I chose. It was a tough choice out of those, because there's some good Christmas episodes in that series, but that is my number 4.
Yes, that's a good one, man. I ain't even think about that one. That was a good show, because it wasn't your typical episode where Will is just being a goofy fool the whole episode. So it was a little bit more, heartfelt, even though he, playing around, lying to him, it all worked out in the end for the, a better situation to occur with the baby getting christened and things. It worked out, and it just felt good when you seen Boys to Men walk through, because that was a time where they were, a hot name. So yeah, very good one.
Yeah, why you trying to tell my episode, man? Like, I'm just playing. Yeah, that was a great episode.
D-Ray, what is your number 4?
All right, my number 4. This one was tough, man. I really didn't know where to place this one, because I like the overall show, but we was talking more about what episode. But I love this show, so it was hard for me to put it number 4. But number 4 is where it's going. So season 3, episode 3 of the Bernie Mac show, Road to Tradition. This is where an episode where Bernie Mac decides, they go out for around Christmas time to the local mall. There's a lot going on while they're at the mall. You've got Wanda. She's driving herself crazy because she's trying to find the perfect gifts for her office mates. You've got Brianna. She's talking to Santa, just, rapidly naming all these toys she wants. Jordan's going around the mall acting a fool. He gets caught stealing money out of the fountain. So Bernie Mac is, he just gets frustrated with it all. And now he cancels Christmas because he wants to give the kids a more traditional experience. So I thought this one was a really, it was a fun episode, but it also, gave a chance to, give them the true meaning of what Christmas was all about, and that it's not just about receiving gifts. It's also about giving back and, learning through the Bible.
Who you with?
Hey, caveman, welcome. Yeah.
That's a great pick,
I
D-Ray.
honestly,
Yeah.
it is. It is. I mean, I remember watching Bernie Mac almost religiously on Fox when it was on. It was one of those shows that it's like I've never heard his comedy before, but actually seeing that, I'm like, I actually enjoy this show. It seemed to be more down to earth than anything else that was on TV at the time.
Yeah.
That's why I
And,
enjoyed it.
and you know, Ben, I don't know if this is a fact, but I feel that he started something that nobody ever gave him credit for, whereas the no audience for your sitcom, no laugh track, no studio. He was the first one I seen. Then I seen other people doing it. I seen The Office come a little bit after, but that was the first person I see do that style of comedy with the quick cuts and the sitting in the room talking to the camera. America, like I never seen nobody do that. Bernie Mac was the first one. Now it's a normal thing. You see that a lot.
Yeah,
So,
I like the single camera interview style that he had, like you said, with The Office in there too. I kind of
yeah,
like that in Bernie Mac because it kind of is like, instead of doing what Zach Morris used to do and say by Bell, where you go time out and he would address
Oh
something
yeah.
on screen.
Yeah.
It was more so you cut here, it's Bernie just sitting in his room. It's like kind of put up the phones were popular at the time, put up his phone and be like, here, now I have to vent this out for you guys. It almost sounded like he was venting to us. Like we were
Right.
there trying to help him
yeah,
through this problem that he was facing, or trying to tell us about a problem he
Yeah.
was facing so we wouldn't have to face it himself. That's
yeah.
what that's what I liked about those. Yeah.
Yeah, we were America. It was just so cool, like, because if anybody knows Bernie Mac, this was all a comedy. Like this was a routine in his comedy act on the original Kings of Comedy, and something he always did. So if you ever saw that before this show came out, you know what this is. So it's fun to get this big look into his life to see how he raised these kids. My only thing about this Christmas episode is he should, if you know, you know, but he should have did something with the milk and cookies. If you guys remember that
Yeah.
stand up, the
Yeah.
milk and cookie, he should have did something. Just a little wink at the audience.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of sounds like a early days of Bob Newhart. I know what you're talking about, Caveman. I do know. And special 4K actions here, guys. What's up? Caveman.
Yeah. So easy a caveman can do it.
Yes. Yes. So we're now on to number 3, folks. My number 3 happens all the way back from 2004. It was December 18th. So it was the Christmas episode of one of the longest running Saturday evening programs ever. Yes, I'm talking Saturday Night Live, hosted by Robert De Niro,
What?
musical guest Destiny's Child. I'm
Okay.
particularly picking this one
Wow.
because of the Muppets on this episode. The Muppets like you think of the Muppets, you think of all their Christmas specials that they had, not only on the Muppet Show, but you also had Muppet Christmas Carol. You had It's a Very Merry Muppet Movie, Christmas Muppet Movie, and stuff like that. They went on capers on Muppet Babies right around Christmas. But this one, the reason I like this is because Horatio Sands was still on the cast in 2004. You had Chris Kattan, Jimmy Fallon, and Will Ferrell leaving. Oh, and Tracy Morgan leaving before that, which means that they couldn't do Christmas is Really Fun. Their Christmas Today song they couldn't do. So who happens to step in with Horatio Sands? The Muppets happened to stand in with Horatio Sands. So he does the last performance of their song. You know their Christmas where they're dancing and they do. I don't care if people say Christmas is really cool. I want Christmas today. I want Christmas today. Yeah. The 2000 era of SNL didn't really have much in the way of memorable things, but that was one of the things that I remembered the most of that era of SNL. And it was one of my favorite things because of the Muppets. I'm a huge Muppets fan, and that's the reason I chose this episode, because it had my crew of the Muppets in there. It also made them an homage because the Muppets weren't on there since the 76 season when they were actually featured on the show. So this was their first return to SNL too, as well. So it kind of felt cool to see the Muppets back again. So that
Look
was
at
my
Ben dropping
number 3.
If you didn't know facts.
Covering every category so far. I like it.
He tried to smash us, making us feel shameful. Yeesh.
Yep.
That was out of the box, man. Nice.
Oh, there's no competition
Wow.
here, Cal. Cal, there's no
Ow.
competition here. But Binbuster has 3. Cal has 1. D-Ray has 1. There we go. No, I'm kidding.
Not cool,
But
Ben.
Cal,
You brought
what
us
is
here.
your
We didn't even
number
know
3?
we was in for this. Okay, my number 3 is let me set the stage. A show. And this show right here, I honestly, when I think back, I didn't realize it until recently. If it wasn't for this show, I probably wouldn't be the biggest horror fan that I am. But this show made me such a fan of horror, and this episode in particular was one of the first episodes I ever saw. And I was huge into Dr. Giggles. If anybody's ever seen Dr. Giggles, it's a hidden gem. Some know, some don't. But Larry Drake is the Santa in this Tales of the Crypt episode. And it's titled, I'm sorry, Ben, what's the title? I'm sorry. I forget the title of this
Cal,
episode.
your title is called And All Through the House.
And all through the house. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little under the weather right now. All through the house. This episode was so good. And it's actually a redo from the old Tales of the Crypt movie, but they redid it for the first season of Tales of the Crypt. And this episode is nonstop, just suspenseful, especially for the time that it came out. When you're watching it, you're just like, really? Like today we've seen Silent Night, Deadly Night. We've seen all these movies. So today it might not hit you the same, but in the 90s and the late 80s, this hit a little different. And Larry Drake is extremely off the walls on this. He's like a mental patient. He got him a Santa suit, and he's just out on the prowl. This lady here that he's choking, she's not a victim. She actually just killed her husband, and she's trying to cover up the murder. And it's just all this stuff collides at one time. And at the end, so it becomes a battle between her and the Santa. And at the end, kids love Santa Claus, right? So the kid lets in Santa, which is this insane guy right here. And it just goes off like that. So she got it right. So this episode means a lot to me. And I'm not really into a lot of Christmas horror. When it comes to Christmas, guys, I'm kind of a wimp. I like horror, but I like my Christmas movies pure. I really do. I just like Christmas movies. But this one right here is an exception. And I love to watch this one. Shout out to the Crypt Keeper. He's an icon. But that's my number 3. Tales of the Crypt, all through the house.
Wow. I did not expect that.
No?
No,
It's
not
great,
at all.
man.
A good one.
Have anybody
That's why
seen
I like
any
this list, Cal. I wasn't expecting that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, that's the good thing about it. But I'm curious to the chat. If anybody's seen these episodes, let us know what you think. How about you guys? Have you guys seen this Tales of the Crypt episode?
Not this particular one. I've seen a lot of those episodes on TV. I've just never really seen this one. So I might have to check it out, Cal. Thanks.
Oh, man. It's fun. It's fun.
All right. Yeah, if you guys those in the chat, if you guys have seen any of these episodes or want to drop any of your own, drop them down below, and
since
we'll
Ben want
comment
to make
on
this a competition, tell us who had the better list at the end. No, I'm joking, guys. But yeah, let us know what you think.
But I like what Hunter here said. Both need more physical releases. Muppets have season 1 to 3, and SNL has the first 5 seasons. Yeah, they need
Facts.
do unless SNL just do it by decades. Do it 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. Do it like that. That way you'll get the best episodes of it. I know we're all completionists and want every episode, but because of musical rights, you can't do a lot of those. So just put in the best of them per the decade.
Just cut out. I'm sorry. Just cut out the musical acts. I hate to say that as blasphemous because that's part of it, but at least we'll get the show.
Exactly. Even Caveman here says he resembles the old guys in the Muppet booth today, and he watched them as a kid. Yeah. Sadler and Waldorf. Yeah. Caveman. I can see that. Just talking to you, I can see that. Hunter says, "LOL, love those guys. They were hilarious." Yeah.
Yeah, and we need Tales of the Crypt on Blu-ray also. We really do.
Yes. And D-Ray, your number 3.
Oh boy. So my number 3 kind of really spans across 2 episodes. Season 3, episodes 24 and 25. So this probably should have made my number one, but I'm talking Saved by the Bell Home for Christmas. This episode where the entire gang is working at the mall. Zach, he go on his lunch break and he meets a girl in the picture, Laura, in the mall. He sits with her. He knows all she has to eat is an apple. So while he's talking to her, he helps give her some more food. He's learning things about her, asking her questions like, where she's from, who's her, she's talking about her dad and, where they stay and they're traveling is her answer. She doesn't want to tell them that at the time they're homeless. So he meets her. Fast forward through the episode a little bit, him and Screech are together and I think they're in the bathroom or something like that. And they see the homeless guy. They're kind of, making jokes about him. They're a bit hesitant about him, but ultimately Zach leaves him some money behind, a couple dollars to help him out. And then a few minutes later, they're back in the food court and they notice that, there's a crowd gathered around somebody, and they notice that it is the homeless man from the that they met earlier that day. So Zach still doesn't know that this is her father, but as you just seen in that scene, he later finds out as he's still courting this girl, talking to her and everything, he finds out that that's her father. She's very embarrassed by it, so she didn't really want to tell him or anything like that. And he eases her into it and lets her know it didn't matter and all that. So fast forward to the next episode. It's still Christmas time and things like that. Zach brings her over to his house, meets his mom. So ultimately his mom ends up letting them stay until the father can find a job. Now, the only bad part about this whole 2-episode holiday special is, even though she let them stay, we'd never seen them again in the next episode or any time after that. So that whole story just ended there with episode number 25. So we never really got any type of payoff for seeing Laura again. She was just kind of a fill-in for the episode. It was a very good episode, very heartfelt. Absolutely. Like Kyle said earlier about one of his episodes. So it was a very good episode, one that I just always remembered off, and I just had to put it on this list. I felt like I should have put it number one, but it's not. It was hard to put it over one of my favorite TV shows ever. So
yeah, you gotta give the heart what it wants, man. So well, I'm surprised. I'll just say that. I don't know much about Saved by the Bell. Wasn't really my thing. Right. I'm lost. I don't know anything about it. I know the characters, of course. I've seen an episode here and there, but sounds like a cool episode. Sounds like they a little shady though, D-Ray. Like they didn't put her in the next episode.
Yeah,
kind of a little shady. But she sounds like she should have known better though. She was acting a little crazy there. No, I'm just
now that we're doing this, and I thought about that episode. Now I actually do. It makes me want to go back and see if there's anything that says like what happened, why they didn't bring them back for another episode.
Right. Yeah, and also too, it has to be noted that you cheated. You can't just squeeze 2 episodes in and we not gonna say nothing like that. That's crazy. He just pulled a cheat move right there.
It's technically Cal. It's technically 1 episode, just spanned over the course of 2 weeks.
Here we go. This reminds me of the Infinity Endgame War.
The last one that spans across 2 episodes on my list.
Oh, this man's cheating, yo. We didn't say top 7. It's crazy.
Caveman says, friends celebrate more than just Thanksgiving. If you can make it through the Hanukkah lesson from the holiday armadillo, aka David Schwimmer's Ross, all the way to the arrival of Superman, played by Matt LeBlanc, without once dissolving into a pile of Christmas giggles, you're stronger than we are. Yes,
Cave.
That was actually on my list, Caveman. That was my number 5, the holiday armadillo scene. Yeah. I completely forgot about Superman in that one, played by Matt LeBlanc.
What?
I'm like,
he's on your panel. What do you mean?
Like we said, Joey was trying to help. I completely forgot about that. I was focusing more on Ross trying to help Ben realize his Jewish heritage by coming up with a character, whereas Superman would just show up because Joey was trying to be Joey and coming up with a friend for Santa Claus. That would make sense. And it was the one smart thing Joey ever did in that TV show, in my opinion. All right, so we're now to number 2. Mine is actually a hour-long episode. One episode, Cal, so you don't have to argue about this one. It's a 1-hour episode. That was actually the pilot episode of this TV show. And you were talking about episode number 1 of The Simpsons, period.
Yep.
Episode number 1, where they get Santa's Little Helper. Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire is the name of the episode in season 1, where Homer actually goes to this is the first full-length episode of The Simpsons. And it's Homer plays Santa, and the family dog Santa's Little Helper is brought home, and we learn how they got Santa's Little Helper from the racetrack. He was one of the greyhounds being raced there, and Homer's like, Bart's like, he sees that little one, and he's like, I want the little one, and it's like he was being abused. I think he was being abused, and so Bart couldn't handle that, and so they decided to take him home, and lo and behold, he doesn't get he's treated better, but not really much better by the family. But that's their ultimate gift. Like, Homer realizes, here we are helping someone and teaching Bart this lesson. In the episode before we actually get the Simpsons TV show, this was the very first episode that they ever did. And like I said, it's a full-length episode, which means it's a little over 30 minutes long. It's like maybe 45 minutes long, so it's not necessarily an hour, but it was a full-length episode. They didn't have commercial breaks in this episode at all, so they just played it all the way through.
Sound like a special.
It's a pilot. It counts.
I didn't know this was the pilot. I'm a huge Simpsons fan, and I almost picked this, but I was like, is it really in my top 5? Because it's really sad. This episode, the majority of it is kind of sad. So I didn't pick it because I kind of wanted a, happy thing. But it is the most memorable Christmas episodes from that series, I truly believe. But Santa's Little Helper, great pick.
You know what? I think I can be wrong, but I don't know if you remember the Bernie Mac episode, the Christmas episode with the dog. I think they named him Santa's Little Helper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shit. It's 20 years, D-Ray, of cartoon. I don't know. I forgot. I thought that was the one that was Santa's Helper. Hey, great episode though. Because I was thinking of the one. Is this the one where they burned down the Christmas tree? Is this that one?
Yes.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, that's kind of sad. So I didn't pick that one. That was actually one of the first ones when you brought this idea up that I thought of.
Ooh. When they play this one, though, when you watch it and they actually replay them in order, it's actually later on. It was released first before this became a TV show, and then during season 1, it became their Christmas episode. So it's kind of weird how it worked. Because they had this as a Christmas episode, and then season 1 the following February started, and they didn't have a Christmas episode yet for season 1, so they replayed this in that December.
Yeah. So it serves as both. That's why I thought it was the Yeah.
It serves as both.
Great show, guys. I was the hugest. Like, if you ever seen any of my kid pictures, nothing but Simpson stuff. Like, I was a big Simpson guy. But great pick, Ben. You had the nerve to pick it. I didn't. I was like, that's a little sad, but I like that pick. Ben, you so out of the box.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
that was a good episode too.
Caveman says the best Christmas Qua ever from the OC is season 1, episode 13, taking the best parts of Christmas and the best parts of Hanukkah and placing them together. Yeah, I remember that blended family on there trying to celebrate both Christmas and Hanukkah at the same time. Came up with Chrismaka or Chrismakwa or however it's pronounced. So, and then Hunter responds with, he's never seen the OC. So,
did I tell you were my favorite caveman? Caveman? He knows what I mean.
All right. So, Cal, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is, for the longest time until the year 2001, this was my favorite show of all time. Still my favorite comedy sitcom of all time. This episode is by the legendary Martin Lawrence. You know, it's called Go Tellin' on the Martin. It's play on Go Tellin' on the Mountain. And this episode is excellent. It was hard to pick this one opposed to the one with her in a train station for Christmas, but this one, yeah, it's so memorable. Like, and it's so crazy, not just because it's Christmas. There are scenes in this episode that you just remember just from the series period, not just because it's Christmas, because it's just genuinely funny. This guy here, I mean, Martin at this point in the show, he's a talk show host. And so he's having his Christmas episode, you know, there's some funny stuff going on in and there. But then this guy comes in, as you can see, he has bombs strapped and he's just holding the whole station hostage. And all he wants for Christmas, he's lonely. He just wants his family back, and it's so funny. And his wife, actually, she shows up in the show. She is I'm sorry, the name is blanking on me, but she was in What's Happening. She was a character in What's Happening. And it just was a funny episode, man. There's just lines in there that just like BB and CC's on this show, and they're just terrified by the bombs, and then the way they're singing, because you know he's telling them to sing, and it's just, and then it's revealed at the end that them are toys, them are his kids' toys strapped to his body, and he's holding the station hostage, and it's so it's so funny, man. Like this might be honestly the most memorable. Like if you ask me, out of all the shows, just to pick one or the most memorable, this is the show. I probably watched this more than any Christmas special ever. And this, between this and the Bundys, like I've watched it more than anything. But this is the one, and it's just, I don't know. I'm trying to sell it to you guys more, but it's really cool. It has a lot of Christmas spirit, and it's just, the theme of it is just being alone for Christmas and just knowing what truly matters with you know, family. And you know, seeing, like, you know, you just got Martin dropping little lines here and there. It's like the cherry on top. Like at the end when they find out that those are toys strapped to the guy's chest, he's like, Tommy, drop him. And Tommy actually gets up to do it. It's really a good episode. Definitely check it out.
All right.
Good pick. Good pick.
I might have to. I haven't watched much of Martin. I honestly can say that I haven't watched much of that, so I will definitely checking that one out.
Yeah.
So D-Ray, what's your number 2?
So my number 2 was almost that episode, but it's not that episode. It's not the other episode Kyle mentioned in the train station, well, the bus station either. Mine is season 1, episode 15. I saw Gina kissing Santa. This one was about Tommy had he was working with the Big Brother program. He originally had Cole was supposed to come in and dress up as Santa Claus. Unfortunately, Cole was at work at the airport and he got held up. He couldn't leave. So Tommy ended up asking Martin if he could, you know, fill in for him. He didn't really want to do it. Martin is just like kind of anti-Christmas. He does decide to do it. So, you know, he decides he's going to tell the kids a story about the first Christmas ever. So he's telling that story, but he's also being heckled by the kids during the story. So it was a very fun episode. The kids was very funny. There was no way I could, you know, I had trouble putting this as 1 or 2 because my 1 and 2 are 2 of my favorite shows ever. And then I had to put this one because, you know, another little caveat in it is that, you know, Journey Smollett appeared in this one, and that's who my daughter is named after. So.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Nice. That's cool. Wow. You know, D-Ray, I actually thought this episode was a little bit, maybe season, like a little bit after mine. I love this one too, because this is the one where he tells the story of Jesus to them, and they put their little spin on it, and with the 3 wise men, and this was a great episode too. And I can't remember though, is this the episode, or was it the train episode where Sean is outside doing caroling, and then he said the kids in the project bombed him with snowballs, and he said, well, Sean, what were you singing? He said, I was singing I'm wishing for a white Christmas in the project. Was it that?
Yeah, I think that was the bus station one.
Okay, that was hilarious. But all these episodes are so good. But my thing is, this episode and the train station episode kind of run together a little bit
Yeah.
for me, so it was kind of hard for me to
Yep.
remember. But nice, man. And Journey was crazy in that. She was obsessed with death.
Mhm.
I remember that.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll get into the chat. Caveman wanted to say to you, Cal, you're my favorite Superman, and you know that.
So
Caveman says you're his favorite Superman. So, and he Seinfeld, The Strike, season 9, episode 10, by Columbia Pictures. We apologize for referring to The Strike as Seinfeld's Christmas episode. Happy Festivus, everyone.
For the rest of us. Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah. Yes.
I bet you that's one D-Ray hasn't seen either.
For the rest of us.
Have you seen Seinfeld, D-Ray? You watch you say nope.
Only very few episodes.
Okay, he's seen a couple.
I'm there with you, D-Ray. I've only seen a very few episodes myself.
And I think the only reason that
we've come to that time of the night, gentlemen. Yeah, continue, D-Ray.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, the only reason I think I seen some of the episodes is because it was preempted by wrestling, so I would tune in a little bit before wrestling would come on, and I would see a little bit.
Okay, yeah. I'm more of a Curb Your Enthusiasm guy, but it's a fun show. George got me. George, like when you're younger, you think it's Kramer's the funniest, but it's George. George is the best, and the same character of George is on Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is Larry David. It's the same character, so it's kind of cool.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've come to that time of our Christmas special tonight, where we're getting to our number one favorite TV episode. So mine is a show that I always watch. I have very few TV shows that I have on rotation. This is one of them, just because there's like 9 seasons of this, so it's a little hard to watch them all the time. But the reason I picked this is because the gag that they kept running throughout every Christmas episode ran through the entire season of every Christmas episode, where the father of this family of 5 actually was in a Christmas lighting competition with his neighbor, the Honorable Doc Johnson. So he every year Tim Taylor was trying to beat Doc Johnson at his own game of Christmas decoration contest. So the one I chose is actually the flight before Christmas. You know, where we get Tom Poston in there, where they go to Kinross to do on Christmas Day, they have to do a presentation of Binford tools. And so they go up to Kinross to do this, and lo and behold, they can't get a flight because the flight's canceled. They can't rent a car. So it's the whole plane, streets, and automobiles thing coming into play here. But when they're flying home, they're going to miss Detroit because the visibility to the snow is so horrible that the pilots can't land anywhere. But then that changes when the boys flip on their dad's Christmas lights. And just because they land a plane is the one year it was the one year the Taylors won the Christmas lighting contest because they helped land a plane that couldn't be landed.
Yeah, I remember that.
Regularly.
Wow.
because the light was not. Yeah.
Yeah, because he overdoes like everything, and so they could see them lights from space.
Ones too. I think that was Jonathan Taylor Thomas left.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and this was the one episode that was right before Jonathan Taylor Thomas left. So the next one that they had was I'll Be Home for Christmas, which was when Randy came back home for Christmas that year. That one really wasn't that great. You could tell they were winding it down because they're like, yeah, we have the payoff for the gag in the last season. So here you guys go. Here's something else. So
all right, quick question,
Caveman saying, yeah.
Last Man Standing or
what's up, Cal?
Home Improvement? Which one you like?
Both, for different reasons. Home Improvement was his comedy routine. Last Man Standing is what happens if all those boys were girls. That's pretty much what it is. So
I don't know, man. He seems a little stronger, more political on Last Man Standing than he
That's
was on
funny.
Home Improvement.
That was also because when Last Man Standing was on, that was the current way. It was all politics, really, a lot in
Right.
at that time in television. So as compared to Home Improvement, but
Mm-hmm.
Caveman says Community Season 2, Episode 11, Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas. We all grew up watching Christmas stories in stop motion on TV, so it only feels right that the community went with the Santa Claus is Coming to Town 1970 route for its Season 2 holiday episode. Yeah, I kind of remember that one too. Home Improvement was one of my favorite TV shows. It's so funny and watched all the time when I was younger. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those ones like Cal said, it was on reruns a lot growing up too. Even when it was on, still on new. Love the Toolman Taylor and the neighbor. Yeah, Wilson by far made it was a tough one for me because I wanted to include Home Improvement on this list. It was either this one or the one where the boys end up tricking Mark into thinking Santa Claus isn't real. And then they all, when Santa Claus visits them at the end of the episode, we all think it's Wilson because it's played by
Right,
Earl Hyman.
yep.
It sounds like Wilson, but they're like, Mark's all happy. He sees Santa outside, and then all of a sudden it's like, what? They're like, that was Wilson. And Joe looks outside and goes, you mean that Wilson? And Wilson's sitting there waving at him like this and looks up in the air and takes off his hat and like waves it up to Santa too. I mean, it was hard for me to choose which one of those, but I always the payoff for a long running gag in comedy. So that's why Fox's versus ABC's Tim Allen in the middle. Yeah, that's right. Like I'll say it this way. The earlier episodes of Last Man Standing were a lot better than the later episodes. I'm just leaving it at that. So
I like Last Man Standing better, maybe because I like the girls better than the boys,
yeah.
But I just thought it was cool. But over time it got a little too political, so I dropped out. But it still is a better show for me. But they're both good in their own right. But hey, I think me and Wilson got some things in common. I never thought about it though, Ben. Like there's things he does that I kind of do. So but yeah, that show was
like
really
not showing
cool.
your face.
My favorite episode is the one where Mark has the older girl come over. I think that's my favorite episode. And he's scrambling. Yeah, that one and actually the Halloween episode where
I was going to go.
The kid is like, "Oh, your dad's show should be called Full Time." Like those are the two episodes I remember the most.
Yeah. Oh, the one with Ryder Strong. Yeah, where he's not scared of anything and yet he is scared of everything. Honestly, I was going to go with the one where Brad and Randy steal the money from the charity, but that wasn't a Christmas episode. I'm like, are you sure this is not a Christmas episode? I'm like looking it up. I'm like, it's not a Christmas episode. Okay. It was right around the Christmas season before their Christmas episode. So
right.
It was like that would have been a perfect
great
one.
honorable mention. Right. Yeah.
It is. So Cal, what is your number one?
Okay, guys. Now, disclaimer. This was very hard. It wasn't hard to come up with shows, guys, but it was hard to put them in order. The first two was easy, but the rest was hard. And it was like picking children because I can't believe I left the Bundys off this list. But there's no Bundys on this list. I know I feel bad for it. But the number one episode is my favorite show of all time and the only Christmas episode they've ever done. It's called Lexmas. And it's from Smallville season 5. And come on, it's Superman, guys. So this was a great show. This is an episode where you get to the whole season was taking a different turn. So they went off to Clark went off to college. Lex is getting a little bit deeper in character and developing. I don't want to say feelings, but he's basically developing feelings. You get to see a softer side of Lex. This is the season where Jonathan Kent dies, so you see a lot of things come to fruition. You get to see I want to say the Ghost of Christmas Past type feel in this episode where Clark gets to see his life married to Lana Lang and them having kids and stuff like that. And the main thing about this episode, though, that chooses it's a little out the box out of it. Believe it or not, I know it's about Superman, but this episode is super out the box because there's Santa Clauses in this episode where this show never really got that out of the box wonky, but for this one episode, and it did. And Anyway, Santa Claus, he can't do what he does. He can't make it to every kid's house, and so he enlists Clark to be Santa. And Clark has the super speed, guys. Like, who better to be Santa Claus than Superman? Who can make it to every kid's house easily? And so he fills in for Santa, and there's lessons learned there. There's a big thing with Chloe. It's the only episode they did for Christmas. It's a great episode, and it's fun to see all these great characters because Jonathan Kent dies later on in the season. New characters become more prominent characters. Other characters start to fade out. So it's a really nice Christmas episode, and it really has the Christmas spirit. Shout out the best show ever, Smallville. That's my number one.
That was season 5, right, Cal?
Season 5, the college season, which I don't want to downplay my show, is probably the weakest season. But it was one of them seasons where, this show is really successful and people want more. So let's figure out what we want to do. It's that season. They're figuring out where they're going for the rest of the series. But still a good series. Season.
Yep. Chloe, Allison Mack went crazy. The cult got her just because she couldn't have Clark. Clark would have rather have Lois or Lana.
We're not going to hate on Allison Mack like this episode. And I always liked Allison. I can't believe that happened to her. But we're not going to do that. It's Christmas. We're going to give her a pass tonight.
Cal, aren't you kind of shocked that this was like their only Christmas episode that they ever had in the series?
Yes, I am. And watching it when it was running,
because I am.
It's a shock. But going back and looking at it, because you think you might have just forgot there was one. No, this is really the only Christmas episode. Yeah. It's just weird. And like I said, it's the most wonky one though. Like Santa's in it. Like I know it's about comics and superheroes, but the show never really got that out of the box where you had Santa. So maybe that's why they didn't do it again. But it's still a fun episode.
You would think you're in small town Kansas. You would think that Smallville would be decked out in Christmas, pretty much since Thanksgiving, because that's usually how most small towns are. But yet, they're not, and like you only get out of 10 seasons, you only get one Christmas episode. I understand it.
That's different. But that's very different for any show.
It is kind of weird.
It is.
It is. It's different.
It's so funny, Ben. They have a lot of Thanksgiving episodes. That's weird.
K-Man says Mad Men season 5. It was fun when Roger wore a Santa suit, but Mad Men's best Yuletide hour had to be the bittersweet season 5 entry. It had to be this bittersweet season 5 entry. Nobody wants a heartache quite so as gorgeous. No one wears heartache quite so gorgeously as John Hamm or Don and Joan at a bar or in a Jaguar at Christmas. I can't remember this episode. Yeah.
He's playing with us. He should have been up there.
Yeah. I know for next time, Caveman, I'm going to invite you for the next one that I do of this Merry Christmas TV Christmas, because definitely going to do this again next year. Maybe even do a Halloween themed one next year. So you never know. But
Thanksgiving.
And then Hunter says Mad Men only had one Christmas episode. So here we are, Mad Men having another one. Yeah, because Cal, it's like most TV shows kind of go over the the Thanksgiving episodes just because that's sweeps week. So they're like, oh, let's bring in our biggest stars, do our best stories. Here you go. And usually they skip Thanksgiving and okay, now we can not worry about that. Let's do a Christmas episode. So seeing that, like, kind of like Mad Men, Smallville only had that one episode, kind of makes it a little bit more exciting whenever you watch it, because you're not gonna get it every season as you're rewatching them. So.
Yeah, that's a very good way to look at it. I think it's a no though when you're doing a 20 plus episode sitcom. You have to have them. Like, I don't know a sitcom from the 90s, 80s, or 70s that didn't do them all the time.
Yeah. So, D-Ray, what is your number one? What is your favorite TV Christmas episode?
All right, so Kyle may have had a hard time putting this as his number one, even though it's his number one show. It's mine as well. I Got Married with Children, season 4, episode 11. It's a Bundyful life. This one, as I said, this one spans across 2 episodes. The picture that you see here with what's his name? Is it Sam Kinison?
Yes,
Is that his name?
Sam Kinison.
Yep.
So that's from episode 12. Mine is episode 11, but like I said, this is a continuation. This part is where he does like the Ghost of Christmas Past story. But so in season 11, this one opens up. As you guys know, in Married with Children, Al has a very hard time keeping money away from Peg. No matter where he hides it, she always finds it, and he's always broke. So this year, he decided to put his money into a Christmas club account over at the bank that Marcy works at. Now, he does have to work on Christmas Eve. Unfortunately, he waited to the last minute to try to pull his money out and go buy presents. Now, he's working. It's pretty slow at the shoe store, but eventually, right before closing time, it got very busy. Customers did not want to leave, so he ended up being late closing the store. He got to the bank, not enough time. Bank was closed. They were having their Christmas party, so he could not pull his money out for Christmas. He sees Marcy in the background having a good time. She's had a few drinks. She's stumbling, and overall, she does is wave to him. And I believe they closed the fence on him. So he could not get in to get his money in that episode. He ended up going to I think he went to go hang out at the bar, weeping and all that good stuff. And he arrived home. And then we get into kind of episode 12 with Sam Kinison playing the Ghost of Christmas Past and things like that. So this was a very fun episode. Like I said, this is my it's pretty much always either my number 1 or number 2 favorite TV show of all time. It's either this or Martin. It's always flip-flop for me, but I think I watch Married with Children the most. So there was no way I could not put this as number 1. Like I believe Kyle said, also there were quite a few Christmas episodes for the Bundys, but this is one that I always remember. So this is the one I went with for my number 1.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You know,
So
that was the original Al Bundy. That guy in that episode, I forget his name. Ben said it, but he was the original pick for Al Bundy.
Oh, Sam Kinison?
Yes.
Ooh, I did not know that. I think that might have made the show a little bit differently because back then Sam Kinison, like no network would have touched him, like to make a show like that. He would have had to tone down a lot.
Yeah.
The fact that he was actually in this, he was a guest star in this episode is crazy as well.
Well, it was him and Roseanne was actually Peggy Bundy. Those were the 2 picks.
Wow.
But yeah, I know, right? And they make fun of Roseanne the whole show. But
K-Man said Mad Men and Smallville wasn't on one of the big three out of 4 networks that had standards /season /yearly runs. Also, many times fewer episodes per season. Yeah, that's true. They were on the CW or the UPN, my network TV, whatever you want to call it at the time, the WB.
Sound like
whatever you want. Yeah,
Ben. Yo, Ben, he sound like you. That sound like some like little fact you would have dropped in a stream or something.
But anyways, I just want to say thank you for everyone who showed up in the chat, everyone who was commenting about their favorite Christmas episodes. I want to thank my brothers, D-Ray and Cal, for coming on here doing this with me tonight. Thank you, gentlemen. I hope you guys had fun.
Oh man.
Happy holidays, man. Thank you. I had a good time.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everyone out there. To both of you, gentlemen, as well. I thought this is the perfect time to do it right before Christmas, whereas we're still in that Christmas spirit, where we're still, or trying to get into the Christmas spirit, I should say. Christmas is bountiful everywhere you go, even in stores, even on TV right now. Movies, even right now too. So it's a good thing. And like I said, not many people talk about TV. So I thought maybe talking about one of the big 2 in TV episodes that people have, Christmas, the other one being Halloween. Christmas was a good way to start that off. I felt that was a good way to start it off. Let's see. Great stream, guys. Hunter says, thanks, Hunter. Have Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you, Hunter. Chandler, same to you. Happy holidays, man. Caveman. I still say Heat Miser episode is number 1. Yeah, Heat Miser. Caveman, Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays to you. Jerry, thanks for showing up, man. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to you. Robert loves movies. Rob, thanks for showing up. Merry Christmas to you. Spicy 4K Action, thanks for showing up. Merry Christmas to you. I think I got everyone. Chandler, Jerry, Robert. Yeah, I pretty much covered everyone who was in our chat. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Cal, D-Ray, do you guys have anything going on that you want to tell these people about, or where they can find you guys?
All right, I'll go first. No,
Cal?
nothing at the moment. Stuff in store, of course. I know I always say that, so I'll just keep quiet until it comes. And but Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody. Enjoy it, and thanks for coming out.
D-Ray?
Yeah. Same here, man. I just want to say happy holidays to everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I really enjoyed this one. It's fun to, talk TV shows. It's always movies and top 5 this, top 5 that, but this was a very fun top 5. So thank you for inviting me over to it, man. Like I said, it was a little difficult 3 through 5 putting it on the list, but it gave me the opportunity to revisit some stuff I hadn't seen in a while. So I actually sat down and watched these episodes again. So it was really good to go back and relive that, bring back some nostalgia, some childhood memories and things like that. So had a lot of fun with this one, man. I always enjoy collabing with you two guys. So thank you once again for allowing me to be here.
Thanks for saying yes. That's all I gotta say. Thanks for saying yes. Same to you, Cal. Thanks for saying yes. And for me, I have stuff coming up in the first of the year. I know I've been kind of silent on YouTube and even Instagram lately with that, but stuff outside of YouTube, out of this channel, as Sacred Presidents, life over content at times will take more place with that. But you guys can expect a lot of stuff coming from me in the new year. I'm going back to what my channel was originally on, that I kind of lost my way on, which was doing more reviews and me going thrifting and doing reviews on those movies. So movies I pick up, I'm doing reviews for right away, so you guys could get an honest review for stuff like that. I'm not talking like how the 4K looks, how black that picture is. No, how the movie is. That's what we care about. Movies. How this movie is. So, but you get that. And if you guys don't have anything to do on Tuesday nights, come over to Floor Stopper Sports, where I host the Director's Cut, where I deep dive into the world of movies. This Tuesday night, I have a treat for you guys because I'm doing a double feature, meaning I'm doing 2 movies that night. Because this weekend, Iron Claw comes out, the story of the Von Erich family, and Aquaman 2. So I'm going to do both of those on that night. So stay tuned for that, because that's going to be a great ride there as well too. So if you haven't done that, that's Floor Stopper Sports, where I talk wrestling, sports, and entertainment with a bunch of like-minded people, like-minded content creators with that. So K-Man says, real life gets in the way, but we're here for you. Thanks. Facts, K-Man. Adulting can be difficult. Yes, it can. I have a video coming out probably Saturday of why my hiatus was a big one. It was only originally going to be a month, but I'll go more into that on Saturday, on that video I'm posting on Saturday. So stay tuned for that. You're going to see what's up with Binbuster and what's coming in the future of this channel. So, and some special things that I've been hinting at on my Instagram with coming soon. Some cool new stuff coming. So without further ado, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your holiday season. And I will personally see you guys in the new year. Bye.
Hey.
We out.
Wish you a Merry Christmas.